And you can also find PDP will teach APC lessons in Oyo, Osun, Makinde. 5 billion naira UBEC funds mismanaged under ex-Kwara Governor Ahmed, according to witness. Senate criminalizes maize export, fixes 1 year jail. And still on the Punch newspaper, you find a major one, tax reform. Senate suspends debate. Panel meets AGF today. There's a rider to that says Senate constitutes special committee to address concerns. Presidency urges urgent passage. Fuel import hits 2.3 billion naira per litres. I'll take that again. Fuel import hits 2.3 billion litres despite local production. And also Senate summons Keyamo over flight delays others. Federal government fires Togo, Benin degree holders from MDAs. Naira devaluation raises foreign debt by 30 trillion naira. And lastly, out of the Punch from the red corner, Atiku others knock police as court remands Farotimi.
All right, we take headlines from the Premium Times now. Despite evidence of atrocities, Nigerian government wants ICC to stop probing its military. Many feared killed as bandits blow off another bridge in Zamfara. Victory at last. Nigerian lecturer victimized for 24 years secures final victory. Tax bills. Tinubu directs Ministry of Justice to work with NAS to address concerns. Investigation. Dubious defense contracts. How fugitive arms broker spent Nigeria's billions. That's another one from the Premium Times. Tax bills. Senators to meet presidential delegation. COP29 scorecard. Nigerian CSOs criticize outcome, demand more inclusive summit. Ex-NLC chairperson slumps, dies during an alleged dispute with police operatives. Yaga deploys a 12-member mission to observe Ghana's presidential election. CAF Women's Awards, in Nandoze bags double nomination as Nigeria dominates shortlist. Despite evidence of atrocities, already took that one. Lastly, from the Premium Times, UK-based Nigerian pastor Toby Adegboyega faces deportation.
And some stories from the Vanguard. TNG, Nigeria's conversion centers rise to 158. New banknotes, how policemen stole 43.16 million naira out of 74.9 million naira from owners. We also find this one, Naira appreciates to 1,695 naira to a dollar in parallel market. You all should be proud of me, Pastor Toby Adegboyega breaks silence amid deportation. Tax reform bills, why Senate suspended further legislative action, and bridging financial inclusion gaps, key to $1 trillion economy vision. That's according to VP Shetima. We'll take a look at some more stories. African airlines see 10.4% growth. America's Middle East demands fall, according to the International Air Transport Association, IATA. Ekiti Court remands Dele Farotimi for allegedly defaming Afe Babalola. Edo CP orders investigation into death of former NLC chairman. Ghana's illegal mining boom seeps into presidential election. Obedience threatened nationwide protest over Farotimi's arrest. 2025, Obrewori signs Delta's 979.2 billion naira appropriation bill into law. And lastly, Senate urges security agencies to tackle arms proliferation amid rising Benue killings.
All right, some headlines from the Daily Post now. 2027, Arewa Consultative Forum recalls suspended chair Usman. Tinubu's tax reform bills suffer setback as Senate suspends action. Bomb explosion rocks Zamfara. It's another headline there from the Daily Post. Senate summons aviation minister, NCAA Airlines over poor flight operations. Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu wants compromise can't be used for 2027. Kanunta. Elsewhere from the Daily Post, Tinubu's Nigeria's Messiah will be praised by everyone. Reps member Bejide. Nothing will bring me down, Pastor Toby Adegboyega. Other headlines, 16 days of activism. Ogun commits to safety of women, girls, Tax reforms crucial for national growth. NOA. Flight delays. Nigerian Senate summons aviation minister. Alleged tax evasion. Nigerian government sues Niger Dock. 7 directors. We'll take a couple more. OT knocks PDP for establishing shadow government in Abia. And lastly, APC begins fence mending in Adamawa. Forms 8-man reconciliation committee.
And quickly, some headlines from the Guardian, newspaper. You find Oyo Osun residents will never allow APC back in power, Makinde says. Court remands Farotimi till December 10 for alleged defamation. Northern Nigeria's blackout, wake-up call for renewable energy. NNPCL faults Falana, insist Port Harcourt refinery producing fuel. Federal government earned 2.78 trillion naira taxes from telecoms tech companies in H1. Tax reform bill, Senate bows to pressure, suspend hearing. Why NIN has not been, and that's NIN, has not been effective in stemming kidnapping. Antimicrobial Awareness Week, that's on the front page and the major story on The Guardian this morning. Antibiotics abuse worsens drug resistance, claims 64,500 lives yearly. And lastly, this one says, all right, I think I've taken the much, just take this one that says, out of the Guardian, and it says American woman charged with raping her children. That's on the foreign side of things. We'll go on a commercial break now and return. We'll be back with the analysis. Stay with us.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Surely, you will never be away from me. No worry, I don't find in my remedy.
I'm ready for the good news to fall on me. Finally, see as happiness don't find me.
Get 8 times the value of every recharge plus 1,000 naira sign-up bonus and double data with INT'L over Jara when you buy and activate a new SIM. INT'L, a reason to imagine.
Good mama, it's the detergent that makes my fabric fresh. It dey foam well, it dey lift dirt, and it dey boost my confidence. Oh yeah. Good mama for every wash. Good mama detergent, good mama for everyone.
Good mama detergent. Good mama knows best.
Find amazing treats for everyone this holiday with Showmax. Celebrate like a champion with soccer.
Very well taken.
Find your festive inspo with our masters of style.
That's what I'm here for.
Embark on a fun-filled global adventure.
Here we go.
Share your love moments with family and friends.
My son, the most handsome.
And enjoy some truly royal spoils.
I want the power to control what happens in my life.
Only on Showmax, because everyone deserves a holiday treat.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
Hi, Emeka.
Yemi, I learned that Betano is sending 3 football fans to England to watch the big game of Aston Villa versus Tottenham for free. Imagine us going there together. That would be amazing. Okay, bye.
What? He hung up to play.
Play with Betano and stand a chance to win an all-inclusive trip to the UK to watch live the big game of Aston Villa versus Tottenham. Betano, proud partner of Aston Villa. Play responsibly. Available only to those over the age of 18. The promo is valid from November 1st to February 28th, 2025.
Let me ask you a question. What holds you back when you wake up each morning? Is it the uncertainty of how the day will unfold? And as the day goes on, what makes your heart race? Is it the quiet fear that maybe you're not doing enough? And when it's evening, is it the longing for just a little more time? Whatever it is, remember, challenges don't define you, but how you rise to meet them. Staying connected to your dreams, that's how you break free from limits. Get unlimited data plus up to 6-hour battery backup to keep you connected without interruptions on Airtel 4G 5G Smart Connect. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to find out more. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Ìfẹ́ tí kò lábàwọ́n ni ìfẹ́ ìyá jẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí ohun tó dùn tó bíi Indomie alájẹpọnu lákànlọ́. Nítorí náà, fi ìfẹ́ hàn pẹ̀lú Indomie.
In continuation of the celebration of the 80th birthday of Dr. Yemi Farumbi, a Nigerian media icon, the Ibadan Discourse Group invites all to Yemi Farumbi at 80 lecture with the theme, The Future and Challenges of the Nigerian Nation, to be delivered by Dr. Kayode Fayemi, CON, former governor of Ekiti State. Chairman of the occasion is Professor Tunde Adeniro, former Minister of Education. Date Thursday, December 5, 2024. Venue, the Law Hub Hall, opposite Iyaganku Roundabout, Ring Road, Ibadan. Time, 11 a.m. prompt. For inquiries, call 08037203138.
Join the Smart Kiss Show Monday to Friday. Time 7:15 a.m. to 7:45 a.m.
32 FM 94.9.
Thank you for staying tuned to the Breakdown Papers Review. It's now time to analyze the headlines. To do that for us, Professor Oluwajedokun joins us virtually this morning. You're on to your laughter station, 32 FM 94.9. I am DENIKE Adimowago.
And I'm Kenny Durisilu. Good morning, Prof. It's great to have you join us.
Well, top of the day to you. It's a pleasure, of course.
All right, Prof, let's start off with the Senate having postponed the debates on tax refund bills. They're saying that they're postponing that one until further consultations are made. A meeting is scheduled with the AGF to address the concerns and clarify aspects of that particular reform. What do you make of the cautious approach here to the bill and the move for more stakeholder engagement in this particular bill?
It's obvious the bill is in trouble. This is the first time that the Senate is showing their teeth. Normally, they pass everything, it's a slam dunk, as it's called, it's a basketball term. They go with whatever the presidency says, and a nod and a wink, and they jump up and they ask, how high? So I think it means it's in trouble. But I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to get in the buy-in of the people, to have more consultation, and to explain better the provisions of the various amendments or various contents of the bill. I think people need to understand it better. There's no tax without representation. At the end of the day, tax is a key thing in any democracy, and you must get it right if you want to get a buy-in. So I think it's the right thing to do. And I think maybe this is going to be a turnaround in terms of governance, where we stop getting a rubber stamp legislature.
Like you said, Prof, there seems to be a lack of clarity concerning the bill. The bone of contention here, Prof, can you help us explain what the real issues are from your understanding of it so far?
Well, I think a lot of concentration has been gathered around the VAT. Changes in the VAT, the value-added tax, sales tax. They've actually ignored some of the progressive elements, which is to concentrate the collection and assessment of tax in one body rather than having disparate bodies doing the job. In other words, you get more tax efficiency, you maximize the collection of tax, you get rid of a lot of bureaucracy. So there's been a lot of concentration. And the concentration is because, by implication, the states where the economic activity occurs in Nigeria will tend to get more of the VAT. States will tend to get more. Federal government will get less. I thought that would be a good thing, that states get more money, local government gets more money, and the federal gets less. Part of restructuring. But the fact is that the states that get more money are the states where there's a lot of economic activity. The states where you have less economic activity get less money. And I guess the call for equity. We have a system of governance in this country where we expect every state to operate and to be and to develop at the same level. In other words, if a state is developing slowly and one is developing very quickly or very fast, then you expect the state that is developing fast to put on the brakes and slow down. That's been part of our governance, and that's why some will suggest we are not where we should be.
All right, Prof, let's take a look at Dele Farotimi. This issue broke yesterday, and according to this report, he's now been remanded in prison till about December 10. And it was over the alleged defamation of Afe Babalola, that's a senior advocate of Nigeria. And in his book, he talks about Afe Babalola corrupting the Supreme Court to procure a fraudulent judgment in the service of his client. The website where his book is has currently crashed. There's so many people who wants to get their hands on the book. I particularly witnessed a couple of people asking for directions online as where to purchase the book because the websites are not functional. People are running to Instagram and Facebook and all of that to have a look at this, which is also drawing attention to this particular book that he's written. Now, as a lawyer, Prof, according to the law, is defamation civil or criminal? How exactly do you think they're handling this, and is this the right way to go?
Yes, defamation can be civil and it can be criminal. Basically, we know that defamation under the civil is tortious defamation, which is the one we widely discuss. We call it tort. It's a tort. In other words, you understand, it's a civil wrong, you understand, but it could also be a criminal act. And in the civil form, defamation seeks to protect the person during their lifetime from untainted possession of their reputation and good name. But you see, the criminal defamation, which is under the Criminal Code, Section 373, you understand, actually arises when a matter likely to injure the reputation of any person by exposing the person to hatred, contempt, ridicule, or likely to damage any person in their profession, trade, injury to their reputation, you understand. But again, it goes further to say that where it's likely, to cause trouble, like a riot, like a disturbance, and so on and so forth. And if you look at the Lagos State government, the Lagos State government has actually expunged criminal defamation from its books. I mean, still on the federal legislation. So you would, legislation. So you would say, yes, there's still criminal defamation. But the question I will ask is why are they going draconian? If the civil laws, you understand, cater for defamation, why is ARE not pursuing it in that way? Why is it pursuing it through petition to the Commissioner of Police and to the authorities? And why is it being made criminal? You see, we're in a democracy. And I know the law may cater for it in the criminal sense, but where there's a civil and where it's the implications are civil, by implication, I would expect and I would have expected the great ARE, the learned Silk, you understand, one of the most respected lawyers in the Federation, to have gone, in my own view, through the civil route. Is that a justification that he be defamed or libeled? No. But at the same time, I see it as a civil matter rather than a criminal one.
All right.
The Punch has this report that despite ongoing local production, fuel imports surged to 2.3 billion litres between September 11 and December 5 of 2024. Now, contrary to what the marketers had said, they promised to stop fuel imports and focus solely on domestic supply. What do you make of this one, Prof? The economic factors here surrounding the persistent fuel imports and, some of the challenges being faced in the sector?
Well, I think there are 2 points to note. Excuse me. It's either Dangote is not able to meet the local needs. It's either importation is cheaper, or somebody, is just making so much money from importation that they don't want the local refineries to thrive. And there are many Nigerians who will suggest that if you have a local refinery that is able to fulfill the capacity of Nigerians, then why precisely are you still importing? When you import, our scarce foreign exchange, you understand, or rather our foreign reserve, that's what I meant to say, it's also diminished, from that point of view. And of course, it puts pressure on the Naira. When you keep on going, dipping, you understand, when you keep on dipping into your...
All right, it seems like we just lost that call from Prof, and we'll try to reconnect again. Yes.
All right, so we have this report here from the Daily Post. It talks about the Zamfara state situation, where we understand that the police has revealed that the Lakurawa terror group are responsible. All right, we have Prof back. We have Prof back.
Hello?
Prof, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so the point I was just making was that it still doesn't make sense to me that it continues to increase, other than that there are some shenanigans going on and that the importers are making more money, from importing than buying direct from Dangote.
All right, Prof, let's really take a look at the statement credited to the governor of Oyo State. According to this report from The Guardian, it says Oyo Osun residents will never allow APC back in power, Makinde says. And he's saying that the PDP would not allow, the APC take control of the state, of their respective states. I mean, talking about the angle to this as regards the fact that he's leaving power in a couple of years from now, what would you say about the confidence to restate that the APC would not be back in power in the states that the PDP currently has power?
I think there's no basis for any confidence anywhere. Particularly with our electoral system, where we cannot be sure whether INEC is going to deliver free and fair elections or not. The other thing is that we cannot be sure because the PDP as an opposition party, you understand, hasn't been doing so well in articulating, in positioning itself in terms of strategy and in terms of giving us a roadmap towards their retaining power or even coming back to power at the federal level. So I think it's wishful thinking more. There's nothing to suggest, you understand, that they're putting anything in place to prevent, the APC from the clean sweep of the Southwest, as has been shown in previous elections that have taken place recently.
But what do you think about the APC, having, or would I say, putting roots in all states in Nigeria come the next couple of years? Do you see that as a possibility?
It's a possibility. We are heading towards a one-party state if the PDP does not get its act together.
What are the implications of having that? The fact that one party is ruling and, locked down?
Where then democracy perishes, democracy dies. Because what you then get, you understand, is the checks and balances that you should expect in any democratic system will cease to exist. Whatever the president says, the National Assembly will give a nod and a wink. And that will mean, you understand, that there's not going to be healthy debate, constructive criticism, and it will not be well, for our political system. So I hope, for the sake of many, that the PDP gets its act together and becomes a viable opposition party, or be it the Labour Party or whatever party. Even if we don't support them, it is in our interest that we have a strong opposition party, giving the APC a run for their money.
All right, this headline says Senate summons Keyamo over flight delays. Others, the incessant flight delays and cancellations by airlines as being a long-standing issue. About 2,000 air passengers lost 19,274 pieces of luggage between January and June this year. That's according to a report from the Punch this morning. What do you make of that, Prof?
Well, I think it's right that they should be summoned, but I think they should also go further and look at the laws to see whether they strengthen the laws for compensation. I've had issues before when I travel, and particularly when flights have been delayed and stuff like that, I've been able to get hefty compensations, you understand, from the relevant airlines. And I think we need to strengthen the law so that when people want to claim their compensation, they do it without much ado, you understand, without much stress. And it teaches many of the airlines an unforgettable lesson that you do not willy-nilly just delay, cancel without the implications. And I think in law, for instance, when I travel sometimes, I've been put up in an hotel overnight when there's been a delay, from that point of view. Excuse me.
All right. Okay, you're back.
Yes. The same sort of thing is worked into our legislation. And if it's already there, that the enforcement also be better applied.
All right, Prof, let's just quickly touch on this before we go on a commercial break. The residents of Makurdi, Benue State capital, and its environs have expressed frustration over the scarcity of cash in most parts of the state. Does this fill you with any kind of what's the word now? I don't want to use the word remembrance of the situation where we were buying cash, because according to the reports, the residents go to the ATM and it only dispenses 5k. So there's a scarcity of cash, and this was how we started some months or a year ago at some point, and it spread to other parts of the country where we could not access cash easily.
Yes, I have a fear for that. But if you recollect, there was a news item which said most of the money in circulation is not with the banks, but it's actually out there. And so it was predictable. It is predictable because most of the money, you understand, the trillions and trillions are not actually in the banks. And so that's the reality is coming over.
But Prof, what was the point then of this so-called regulation where they said, oh, you cannot withdraw more than 50,000 naira? If at the end of the day the monies are still outside, which that was the aim of making sure that there's some form of regulation and nobody can put some hefty level of cash in their houses, and so what was the point of that regulation?
It made sense, but remember the regulation came after the 23 trillion had been printed by the Buhari administration. The money was already out there. So the horses had bolted, and that's the problem that we have. If the money was still within the banking system and that was made, then maybe it would have worked. But the money is out there and you've made that regulation. It's hardly going to help. But I think the government needs to do something fast. Otherwise we're going to hurtle towards what we faced when there was hardly any cash. I mean, the cash, I can't remember the last time I went to an ATM. I used the POS. Why? Because when you go to the ATM, you can't get what you want at the time that you need it.
All right, we have to go on a commercial now. When we come back, it'll be time to take your reactions. Do stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
Ìfẹ́ tí kò lábàwọ́n ni ìfẹ́ ìyá jẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí ohun tó dùn tó bíi Indomie alájẹpọnu lákọlọ. Nítorí náà, fi ìfẹ́ hàn pẹ̀lú Indomie.
Ìwọ ń bẹ̀ yẹn, ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ jẹ̀bùn ẹgbẹ̀rún náírà. Ṣé o wá rí ìwọ tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ọ̀hún? Ó sì láǹfààní oṣù kan sí i láti darapọ̀ wọ Premier League lórí Showmax. Kò yọ wọn náà tó wà lẹ́yìn sílẹ̀ o. Báwo ni ẹgbẹ̀rún kan náírà káàdì ìpè àti ẹgbẹ̀rún méjì náírà fún ìdínwó lórí Uber ṣe máa rí lára ẹ̀? Gbogbo eléyìí la ṣe é ṣe tí o bá ra àpò unwrap àwọn ẹntì náà kí o ṣí i. Wá kóró náà tó ní kóòdù ní nọ́mbà 6 lára. Tẹ kóòdù yìí ránṣẹ́ sí 80111 kó o sì tẹ̀lé àwọn àlàyé tó bá jẹyọ láti jẹ̀bù. Àǹfààní yìí ṣì wà níwọ̀nba ìgbà tọ́jà yìí bá wà ńlẹ̀. Àdéhùn àtàlàyé ń bẹ ṣá o. Èrè ń bẹ nínú àpò unwrap àwọn ẹntì náà. Àsìkò tó láti jẹun tó dára.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with 𝐒𝐈𝐿.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants to sit at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
Let me ask you a question. What holds you back when you wake up each morning? Is it the uncertainty of how the day will unfold? And as the day goes on, what makes your heart race? Is it the quiet fear that maybe you're not doing enough? And when it's evening, is it the longing for just a little more time? Whatever it is, remember, challenges don't define you, but how you rise to meet them. Staying connected to your dreams, that's how you break free from limits. Get unlimited data plus up to 6-hour battery backup to keep you connected without interruptions on Airtel 4G 5G Smart Connect. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to find out more. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Is it Colgate to make fun of our tooth gap? Let's have a talk. Colgate makes your teeth so strong. Stop cover your mouth. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Zero cavities and fresh breath. If you use a Colgate paste. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world.
Find amazing treats for everyone this holiday with Showmax. Celebrate like a champion with soccer.
Very well taken.
Find your festive inspo with our masters of style.
That's what I'm here for.
Embark on a fun-filled global adventure.
Here we go.
Share your love moments with family and friends.
My son, the most handsome.
And enjoy some truly royal spoils.
I want the power to control what happens in my life.
Only on Showmax, because everyone deserves a holiday treat.
32 FM 94.9.
Thank you for staying tuned. We now open the phone lines. You can call the numbers 0705 5949 0829 7949. You're on to 32 FM 94.9. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm calling from Badu. On the issue of Dele Farutimi and Baba Afe Babalola, I think if as a lawyer, with due respect to Baba Afe, I think we cannot tell Baba what to do as far as the law is concerned. And the way they arrest Dele Farutimi, even I said it yesterday, just like it's like they kidnap somebody, and it is very shameful in that way, because as a somebody that have well experienced about the law, even when the defamation is happened, I really appreciate a professor here for the way he narrates the issue. Actually, you have not. I don't expect Baba to just take that step by arresting someone like that. So it's a simple thing that you can sue him. And if you have every evidence to against him, why not? Just go ahead. In fact, I'm even suspicious that the allegation by Dele Farutimi against Baba Afe, I even started to believe some. Because the way it's like, so you say you call Ele for people shaking only a phone in my shit, I know. That's of a preference. It's just like it look like something suspicious there to me. Because how come you just taking that step? To me, I disagree with it totally. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you. 0705 5000 949 0829 7949. You can also join us live on Facebook. It's 32FM 949 Fenya. We'll have a call. Hello, good morning.
DENIKE. Good morning. Good morning, Prof. Okay, this is okay. Yes, please. DENIKE, if I will start, the pastor that is due to be deported, I don't know, you read it. He said we should have been proud of him. I don't really know about that. It's just the headline. But I believe while we were younger, there is something about when you are called into something that is really wrong, you shut your mouth. Probably, I don't know why he said they should be proud of him. But I think as an African and Nigerian that we have what we call shame. Probably should have just shut his mouth, because deporting him wouldn't have been a good time, most especially what he's accused of from what we heard. Why? I think is it that we have lost that shame in this part of the world. And of course, on Farutimi's, like the caller said, abduction, because the way he was arrested, it just says, does it mean that there are some people that are more superior? Shouldn't he have gone the way Prof said? I don't know. Good morning. It's okay.
Right, thank you. Okay, 0705 5000 949 0829 7949. Once again, we're live on Facebook. That's 32FM 949. Then yeah, on Facebook, you can share your thoughts on that platform as well. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Ade from UI. I want to comment on the cash scarcity that people have been talking about. You see, there's not I always tell people. Governing a nation, or you want to govern, requires a lot of skills. And you see this school that people have gone to, some people are just very privileged to occupy the offices today. Most of them are not fit. But when you have chance, when you have something that does not qualify, they are connected to people that can give them that opportunity. That's why they are there. If you look at Buhari, Tinubu, and Cardoso, none of them is fit to occupy those positions, my sister and my brother. I'm 100% sure. This thing requires necessary skills. It's not like you see money to, or you are connected to something, you occupy the positions. These are positions that Obasanjo, CJ Sanusi, Soludo, they have occupied. They understand how these systems work. Those are qualified people, not briber. Not who use money to get the power. That is the implication. That's how it is today.
All right, thank you very much. 0705 5949 and 0829 7949. Prof, would you like to probably chip into the Pastor Toby Adegboyega situation? And that headline that I read was talking about his comment on social media where he said he does not have anything to do with retrogression, and then every Nigerian should be proud of him because he survived all sorts, and that the matter they're currently propagating is the smallest, saying that he's not leaving the city. London is a city and that nobody can do anything. So that's what he meant by everyone should be proud of him because he's overcome obstacles and quote unquote tribulations.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Prof, please hold that thought. We have to quickly go on a break. We'll be back.
Detergent that makes my fabric fresh. It dey foam well, it dey lift the dirt, and it dey boost my confidence. Oh yeah. Good mama for every wash. Good mama detergent, good mama for everyone.
Good mama detergent. Good mama knows best.
We play the greatest hits of yesterday.
All right, welcome back. Prof, we still have you on the line. I would like to get your thoughts on that pastor situation.
Yeah, Pastor Toby, as he's called. I said the ignorance of the law is certainly no excuse. What do I mean by that? This is a guy who was married to a British citizen and could have regularized his stay, but didn't. In other words, he wasn't obeying the law. So that's the starting point, and that's where they got him. He did not obey the law. The other things that he did, some might not even consider it consequential because they say you cannot build a foundation on nothing. So I'm not proud of the fact that he didn't obey the law. Are there some good things he might have done? Certainly. But what is the message he wants to tell people? That it is all right to break the law? No, I don't accept that.
All right, it's time for us to go, but you can just quickly sneak in one or two calls, 0705 5949 and 0829 7949.
I think we just call it a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us on the Papers Review this morning. Thank you, Professor Oluwajedokun, for your analysis and insights on the stories this morning. I am Kenny Dorotilu.
And I am DENIKE Adimuago. Bye for now.